think they give you some mounting points for these guys, right? Like, here, use this to mount. I really don't think they do.
All right, so a lot of just fabricating stuff involves just staring and standing. So this is probably like an hour's worth of standing and staring, kind of condensed down into a short section. So just trying to figure out what to do with everything and where it should go.
Oh, so hot. This is how all my hoodies end up in the garage. Okay, so here's my thinking. I think that I am gonna mount it like this because the fan's already in there and it's set up to pull, which is fine. And the only kind of bummer really is this drain plug, which it's gonna be like this anyway, so it's gonna drain the majority of the water out of there if you pop it anyway. And I don't think it's worth the effort of drilling a hole on the other side and putting another bung in there, just because there's never going to be anything in here but water, and who cares if it drips anywhere. If you're trying to remove the stuff, which I don't know why you would, but whatever. So, and then my thought is that by mounting it like that, it'll push the water up through, and any air that would be in there would be pushed to the highest point, which is the fitting, and then it'll be pushed, you know, up through the block and then out, because it's going to be pushing is how I believe it'll work. And it looks like we got room to mount this up in here, and it looks like most of that is going to be up above the body line, which is good, but we'll just need to make some mounts to get this thing up there. But I think what I'll do, knowing that I can sort all that out, so I think what I'll do is just start at the start, and the start is going to be the water reservoir. A little bit perplexed on what to do with this pump, because like I said, I want to drop the reservoir straight down into it, but if I put it in y'all, it is going to get blasted with rubber, and I don't know if it matters, because I would think that, I mean, nothing really would be on there, but we could probably make like a little aluminum panel or something just to kind of cover it, or maybe we'll make a shield, like a box that'll hold this up and be a shield, and like rivet into this riveted in rivet thing. I just totally farted and it's gonna smell so bad. All right, so maybe we'll do that. We'll make a little box to hold this. There's really no real holding spots or points. They got these little tiny ass holes. I don't even know if I have a, I mean, if you get a 6x32 through there, I'd be shocked. Because the smallest I got is like a 6, an M6. And it is way bigger than it, or it's way smaller than an M6. So hardware will be a bit of an issue here. I'll have to try to figure out something to fit these little tiny holes. You see them? I'm a little tiny hole. Okay, we can put a 3-inch one there. Put this guy right now. Yeah, that looks pretty good. So what I'm gonna do is get rid of this thing and put a 16 bung, drill this out, clean it out because it's a fucking disaster, and then we'll just weld the 16 bung on the bottom. That way we can just pump that right into the pump, which will make it happy. And yeah, I do need to do anything. Just work. Just work. Now we got a 1-inch hole all the way through,
And well, I'm assuming 1 inch because dash 16 in all. And then this guy here, and I'm just gonna kind of just melt that guy down. Maybe use a little bit of filler, but just kind of stick it on there. It doesn't have to be pretty because it needs to be functional. That's number one. It would be nice to be pretty, but sometimes you can't always get what you want. No, you can't always get what you want. But if you try sometimes, you just might find you can make the bone stick to it. Ow! So you guys that have been following the channel, I used this Vulcan for a few months and it worked really well. It actually works really well. It's a great backup machine. But to be honest with you, and if you guys follow the channel, you know, watching that series, and you're wondering what the deal is, yo, Mike, why did you switch up? Why did you switch up to your HTP? Well, really the only difference is that the HTP has a water cooler. I weld a lot of times. I'll sit down when I'm doing production welding for my monkey fab flanges, and I'll weld for like you know, a couple hours straight, and this hose was just like literally burning my arm where we come across, you know, where I hold it, and I just got tired of that. It was and I did. Some of the people commented on the website and said, yo, Mike, you can get a fitting. And they actually, if you look at my videos, like one, I think, of the 1 month review, you'll see somebody commented and said that you can use this fitting number, and it basically adapts it so you can use a water cooler. But I already have a water cooler, and to be honest, I heard that they were discontinuing the Vulcan ProTig 200s. And I just kind of lost interest, to be quite, you know, I thought it was a great deal for everybody when they were available, and wanted to show that to people that, hey, here's a good entry level machine if you want to get into welding, you know, because I want you to get into welding because it's a lot of fun, and I know the price is one of those barriers to entry that makes it a bit tough for some people. So that's why I got it, was to show that, you know, hey, this is, you know, you don't have to have, you know, a $4,000 TIG machine to be able to TIG weld well, and also know that you have a nice warranty to back it up. It still has a warranty, but when they discontinued it, I just kind of lost interest, because, you know, I recommend it, you know, if you have a chance to get it. I just don't think they sell them anymore. Big finger, go. Big fingers, yo. Yo, Pete, if you're watching, I'm gonna just take this that came out and throw it in the car just in case you need to do something with this. I don't know what exactly would be the use for something like this, but no, it's inside the car in case you need it. Hey, Chunker Munkers. Hi, Chunky Monkey. Chunky Monkey. Hey, Chunky Girl. Sorry, I love my dogs. Somebody told me my shop was tiny. Somebody said, "Oh my God, I'm surprised you haven't passed out unconscious from argon poisoning in your tiny little shop." And it gave me a complex, I must admit. Never felt like my shop was tiny. So, yeah, I just threw a cap back on it and gave it the old blow in there test. And you can usually hear pretty quick if you get a pinhole. Like the other day I made one of my breathers for somebody, and I just always check that as like a, you know, quality control kind of thing. And I up there and I blew, and it was like, you could hear, and I was like, oh God. And a lot of times what they'll do, these radiator caps, so you see like this one, it's welded on the inside. That's what I do. It's just easier. The way they make them makes it really tough to run a bead around the outside. So yeah, when I ran the bead around the inside, instead of spinning it around and watching the whole way, I just kind of did like this and followed around. And when I got on the back side, I guess it didn't quite melt the underside, and there was just a tiny pinhole. That's all it takes to have a crappy leaky tank. So yeah, this is all good. So we just got to mark these holes and put some tapas in there. Put the hole in these things like right in the middle, which is kind of dumb because no matter what, there's going to be something kind of dangling here from the middle. So I kind of just self-tapered it through, and then, you know, that went into the firewall, so it's good. So all those 3 points will line up, and then just hit it with a stepper bit on either side, knock it out, so you got a little wiggle room, so it'll be easier to put your bolts back in once you get to that point. And I just marked it for our hole, and we need to figure out what size we need. So we probably need to get some fittings and stuff